Teaming has always been an issue in Fortnite, as it is with all other Battle Royale games. From casual to competitive, it is everywhere. However, cheating via teaming is more prominent in Fortnite than every other game, and throughout the 7 years of Fortnite's existence, there has been a constant battle between Epic and teamers, and now more than ever, it has become apparent that Epic has lost their battle against teamers. But how? How can so many people, including the top pros of the game, get away with such blatant rule breaking? This is the entire history of teaming in Fortnite and why it will never end. When Fortnite launched, players immediately took to teaming to win games. This would anger the at the time small player base of the game, who documented numerous instances on social media websites of enemy players blatantly teaming in matches. Fortunately, Epic would sort this out just before the official release of Battle Royale. In a blog post made on September 22nd, 4 days before the game officially launched, Epic announced the addition of duos and squads in order to lessen the desire to team amongst players. In addition, Epic introduced their first rendition of a system that studies games to detect teamers and remove them, but we will come back to that later. And for the following few months, things were mostly unchanged, but in December of 2017, Fortnite saw the first of many teaming scandals that were to come. At DreamHack Winter held in Sweden, Fortnite hosted a solo tournament with a €12,000 prize pool. While not much in today's standards, it was a lot of money for such a novel game, but not everyone was there to play fair. A somewhat popular streamer named Zachabis decided in order to win some easy cash, he would team with his friend in the solo tournament. Somehow he was in a call with his friend, and when the two encountered each other in game, they both agreed to not fight to prolong their survival. But it seems like tournament organizers were on the ball as Zachabis was swiftly banned mid-match. The clip went somewhat viral on livestream fails, but other than that, it didn't gain too much traction. But it was a sign of things to come. In 2018, Epic began hosting their own official tournaments beginning with the Summer Skirmish, and in week 2, a huge scandal around the winner eyedrops bodies unraveled. Because the tournament was played in solo pubs as opposed to invite-only lobbies, cheating was much easier. So when people analyzed Body's games, they noticed that many of the players he was fighting didn't even fight back, almost as if he was being fed kills by his friends. This blew up and became the first true teaming scandal in Fortnite history. While Epic did a comprehensive investigation and cleared his name, many to this day still think he cheated on that fateful day. Later in 2018, Epic would begin hosting their very first online tournaments, which were open to all. These mostly started out as experimental pop-up cups with strange formats and little prizing, but at the end of 2018, Epic hosted the Winter Royale, which had open qualifiers and a $1 million prize pool, and this is where the issues with teaming and tournaments really began. The tournament was a pretty big disaster, with many players including the biggest signed pro players all teaming in planes, and it was pretty funny seeing the casters try and commentate over it.
Just killing everyone he sees, dude.
Saw him in the sky.
They're not fighting, they're f***ing around, you idiots.
Yeah, saw him or previous.
They're literally shooting around each other on purpose.
While it was funny to watch, nobody that participated in this was banned, which set a very bad precedent going forward. Now it's 2019 and Epic Games has announced the $40 million Fortnite World Cup, with open qualifiers of course, and the teaming that happened in the qualifiers was never before seen. In the first week of qualifiers, teaming among all echelons of players was rampant. Players weren't happy and luckily, Epic were quick to respond. Epic manually banned 1,100 accounts that played in the qualifiers, with some of those being for teaming of course. Despite this, teaming only got worse in the World Cup. Players quickly figured out that the meta to placing in the World Cup was to abuse the newly added ballers. Many games just devolved into downright teaming between 10 plus players due to the ballers enabling such a passive playstyle, and unfortunately, Epic never removed them despite backlash from players. But if you thought that was bad, then just wait until you hear about the teamers that qualified for the World Cup finals. In week 3, pro player Ziff qualified by placing second in his region, but upon analysis of its games, it was clear that he was being fed kills by his friends. Luckily, he was caught red-handed, so surely he would be banned, right? Well, he did get banned, but only for 2 weeks, which allowed him to come right back and qualify again, and these slap on the wrist bans would come to haunt Fortnite for years to come, with many advocating for harsher punishments for teaming, especially after popular content creators Sway and Whistles were unpunished for teaming in a solo cash cup just 3 months later. And going into 2020, teaming scandals would reach an all-time high, putting more pressure on Epic than ever before. just like how I am pressuring you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel and like the video if you are enjoying so far. Going into 2020, a couple of factors would cause teaming to skyrocket in competitive. Due to certain global events that caused people to play the game much more than ever, the skill gap increased drastically. This meant that it was now much harder than ever to survive in stacked competitive games. Storm Surge was the highest it ever has been in lobbies, meaning that dealing damage became very important. And finally, the proliferation of solos as a format made teaming very easy. At this time, the meta for solo cash cups boiled down to surviving the longest by trucing with other players. This was usually done by swinging your pickaxe to indicate you were friendly, and it got so bad to the point where it wasn't even a secret, with pro players publicly admitting that they intentionally don't fight their friends, as well as streaming themselves pickaxe swinging. Epic later cracked down on this, stating that signaling in ways such as jumping, pickaxe swinging, and toy tossing was bannable. This caused massive outrage in the community, as Epic were very vague about what qualified as signaling, and not long after, the first instance of pros being banned for surge trading would occur. In March, Bucky, Creo, Keys, and Slacks were all handed 60-day bans after their surge trading escapades went viral. Epic finally listened to the backlash and handed out a harsher ban, yet a sizable portion of the community was not happy, arguing it was too harsh, and it didn't seem to get any better as the next few months of solo FNCS were riddled with teaming. Epic would initially action this, banning pro player Dubs along with his friend Waffles, but once again, huge community backlash would ensue, and it seems like this time, Epic backed off for good. The next two solo FNCS tournaments were riddled with teaming and pros just splitting drop spots with their trio teammates, and Epic were turning a blind eye to it. When the game's own casters tried to speak out about the issue, Epic responded by firing them. Yes, Epic Games literally fired BallaTW because he wrote an essay about how solos was uncompetitive. But just when integrity among the community was at an all-time low, Epic Games somewhat redeemed themselves by putting out a blog post in September of 2020. They finally clarified what qualifies as collusion and what doesn't. They also talked about the ramifications for breaking these rules, which would be a 30-day ban that would not only ban you from FNCS, but the following season's FNCS as well. While this is all good, there were unfortunate casualties as well. 100% chest spawn was removed around this time, likely to prevent pros from splitting drops, which while understandable, made the game way less convenient for players, and for the next 2 years, all was well. Epic finally showed some consistency on the matter when pro player Volks was caught blatantly teaming with his friend Pumpkin in the Cash Cup. Volks shot at a player in a bush, and the player inside just so happened to be Pumpkin, so when Pumpkin said to stop, Volks ran away from the fight. The ban was only 14 days, but because it was right before the upcoming FNCS Invitational, Volks would be barred from playing. While many competitive players, especially those from the OCE region, advocated for his ban to be lifted, Epic didn't budge. Finally, Epic was setting an example of strict enforcement of rules. Unfortunately though, this strict enforcement would cease to be. In early 2023, Fortnite competitive's biggest streamer Clix was playing a solo cash cup. Unsurprisingly, he was being stream sniped for the entire time, but one particular encounter with the stream sniper would go south fast. Clix would ask the stream sniper to chug splash him and drop him loot, which the stream sniper promptly did. This was a blatant instance of teaming, and not long after, Clix was handed a 14-day ban, which of course prevented him from playing both the current and next season's FNCS as well. Just like with the Volk situation, debate among the community ensued, but this time it was a lot larger than ever before due to Clix's status as a pro, with hashtag FreeClix getting #1 trending on Twitter. Rather than hold firm on their decision, Epic not only unbanned Clix, but changed their entire rule around competitive bans just to accommodate Clix. Now getting banned wouldn't prevent you from playing the next FNCS, only the FNCS of the season you were banned in, and the precedent this set going forward pretty much ruined any shred of integrity Fortnite competitive had. Now if you got banned, you could just cry on Twitter until you were unbanned if you were a big enough personality. In the 2023 Invitational LAN, many pros were blatantly surge trading with each other and Epic said nothing about it. In the 2024 LAN, the same exact thing happened, and most recently, around a dozen EU pros were banned for all participating in surge trading. At first, it seemed like Epic were firm on their stance to keep them banned, but once Kami and Seti both of whom are some of the most accomplished players in Fortnite history, were also banned, Epic reversed their decision not even a day later. So when lesser known pros receive punishments, Epic has no problem holding firm on their stance. But when famous players like Clix or Kami get banned for blatantly teaming with others in tournaments, they get unbanned and the rules are bent around them. The messaging is clear. Epic is afraid to ban their top pro players, as they fear the backlash more than anything else. They would rather sacrifice the integrity of their game than keep competition fair. And with the way the game is right now, it seems like this is the status quo going forward. The introduction of Chapter 6 brought back hit-scan weapons with scopes on them, reinforcing surge trading as a meta in the pro scene. So hopefully going forward, Epic can make changes to once again restore a bit of competitive integrity. Be firm on bans and don't lift them just because someone famous was banned. Other game developers like Valve aren't, and it works well for them in terms of preserving competitive integrity. Additionally, reforms to the Storm Surge system could possibly be looked at as well. The reason pro players team in the first place is that surge thresholds are simply way too high. With these two simple changes, significant progress could be made towards Fortnite being a better esport. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see similar content, then like, subscribe, follow my socials, and check out the video on your screen now.